Hi, everyone. This is Yoli with This is Black Joy, the podcast. And I'm so excited to have a guest on who I consider a friend of mine, who is innovative, go-getter, and someone who is goal-oriented. I'm so excited to have him on, Nana Kwamena Takyi-Micah. Hi, Nana. How you doing?
Good, Yoli. How are you?
I'm wonderful, wonderful, and I'm so happy that you were able to do this for me. I know that you're busy, and I'm excited to put your story out there. I know we talk all the time, but I feel like this podcast will be the perfect platform for you to actually share your individual story to everyone, because it's really, really, really insightful, and I feel like people will learn from it and become inspired by that. So, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So I want to just jump right in. I know these are things we've already talked about already, but let's start from the beginning. How did this idea become an idea? How did it become a business for you? Like how did it come into fruition?
Yeah, so basically, this came about back in 2011 in Hiram College. One summer, they had the Entrepreneurship Immersion Week, where schools like Kent State, Case Western, Lake Erie College, and other schools would come together to compete for an idea competition with teams of 5 students. I was going into my sophomore year at the time, so I was a freshman going into my sophomore year, and we were brainstorming and we couldn't come up with any ideas. And I realized, well, my mother makes this delicious sauce in Ghana, and African food products in the U.S. are really underrepresented in grocery store shelves, and that's as they say, the rest is history. That's how Ghana Supreme Sauce and Micah Specialty Foods was birthed.
That's wonderful. I love hearing that story because it's interesting how everything kind of fell into place for you with that. And with that question being said, I have another one that kind of is along the lines of that. How long did it take for it to actually pop off for you, to actually get it from paper into like real life, into reality for you, basically?
It took years. It took a few years. First of all, I had to learn how to make the product. My mother had to teach me how to make, our delicious Ghana Supreme Sauce. Then I found a manufacturer that would bottle it. Initially, we were doing like 12-pack cases, 12-ounce bottles and 12-pack cases. So we found a recipe. We had to perfect it to make sure it tasted the way we wanted it to taste. Then we had to get a barcode. We had to get nutritional facts. We had to make sure that we were compliant with the FDA requirement guidelines on how a product should be labeled. So once we got a graphic designer, a website, all those things, then we launched it. It took 3 to 4 years in the making. It didn't happen overnight. No overnight successes here.
Within that process, were there some like mistakes or mishaps that you made that you like, I will never do that again, or some beautiful mistakes that you're just like, hey, I like that happened for me? And tell me about those experiences.
There's some funny mistakes. So when you are making a product, it's trial and error, and it's not going to be perfect from the jump. And I remember getting the recipe wrong so many times, burning tomatoes while cooking it, leaving the fire on, like just funny things, little mistakes, adding one ingredient and making it taste horrible or oily and stuff like that, and perfecting the recipe over time. So those were some of the things I could have done differently, but I don't regret it because it was part of a learning curve. Also, what I would have done differently, and I'm sure we'll get to that later on, I guess building stronger relationships from the start. I would have probably done that differently, because when you are an entrepreneur, I think making connections and building relationships is really important, because it creates opportunities for you, and that's what I would have done differently from the jump. But I don't regret, because I was walking in my purpose and walking in the process, and it was only part of the process.
I completely agree with that. Being around the right people will also inspire you and help propel your business or your service. So I agree with that completely. Speaking of your business, and does it align with your vision of who you are? In other words, what is a bigger vision for your business right now? Like, what is your long-term dream for your business?
Well, my long-term dream is to serve people with authentic and delicious African food products globally. I have a global perspective on things because I'm very proud of where I'm from. I consider myself a Pan-Africanist, and the goal was always to promote where I was from and promote the continent. And food was only a vehicle and a channel, and to what I wanted to do, and to represent my people. And I've you know having a global product and really putting African food products on the forefront on the global stage is really um, my true vision and my goal long term.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. What has been the most rewarding part of starting this business for you? What, when you lay down at night and you're just like, oh wow, like what is the most, what's the greatest part? What keeps you going? What's your happy place when it comes to your business?
My happy place is the impact I make with customers. I have customers who tell me that they could barely cook and now they cook for their husband all the time and he's happy. The fact that it makes people's lives easier. I have customers who are doctors who work crazy amount of hours, and I get testimonials about, oh, like you made my life so much easier, and now I can cook food for my husband and refrigerate it, and all he has to do is put it in the microwave, because your meal prep plans and videos are so easy to use, and we're enjoying delicious and healthy meals. Those are the kind of things that really get me up and I wake up in the morning and want to do it all over again, because I feel like I'm making an impact, and it was only an impact for
So,
my idea as a college student.
so that kind of, went into the next question I was going to ask you, which was what fuels you and what sparks your interest, what keeps you going, and you just said it was the customers. Do you think that there are any other outside sources that give you a spark of inspiration, like your family or people that inspire you outside of your family that kind of keep you going and push you and motivate you on those times where you're just like, I'm tired, I don't feel like doing this, or you lack inspiration? Because as business owners, we always have those moments. Do you feel like there's something that you reach out to when you have those moments where you want to just like throw in the towel, or do you have those moments when you want to throw in the towel?
Yeah, absolutely. There are always moments where you feel discouraged, and it comes with obstacles. It's not peaches and roses all the time. Like, there are definitely some obstacles and challenges, but I think what really inspires me is why I started. Like, and I said, the overall vision, promoting West African food, and our continent is not always portrayed or represented well in Western media, and so the fact that I'm able to, share an idea and a product and bring people together through food, because food can bring people together, and create a positive image about the continent and the potential that we have as a people, and through cuisine or food in this case, is what really keeps me going, and it's my why. It's why I would bounce back even when I have low moments or I feel discouraged.
That's wonderful. Another question would be, who is your village? Who do you turn to?
So I'm blessed to have an amazing family. Um, you know, most of my family is back home in Ghana. My wife and my daughter are here, but I definitely have a tribe and a village back home of a great group of friends, including you, of course. But I have people who really back me up, spiritually, and they back me up physically, and are rooting for me and cheering for me all the time, and that's what keeps me going.
That's a beautiful thing. I want to ask you a question that actually I didn't write down, but I want to know for myself, what would be some key things you would tell a business owner who was just starting out? What would be some key things you would want them to know? And this could be anything from like the support system to have your business plan already mapped out or have your vision written down. What are some important key things that you feel as a beginner business owner you should know, or a person that's providing a service they should know?
I'll say pay attention to the details. and don't rush things. I remember like the first iteration of my product, the graphic design. I wanted to put my product on the market quickly, but there were tweaks, there were certain things that could have been done better. So sometimes if I'm all for just do it and just go for it and do it. However, um, if you rush things, it could cost you way more money. Certain mistakes could cost you a lot of money. Imagine printing like 10,000 labels for
Yes.
socks, and then there's like a typo or something just went wrong because you rushed it. Well, it's going to cost you a lot of money. So
Yes.
pay attention to the details and take your time and don't rush for the sake of rushing sake.
Here's another question for you. Do you envision your business being a beacon of hope and support for the Black community?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How so?
The goal is to create as many jobs in the Black community as possible and to inspire other young people. I mean, a young man coming from Ghana went to Hiram College. There are so many young people who look like me, young men, young Black men in particular, and they need some inspiration of hope. And I can inspire them to show that a regular, ordinary person like me could dream big. It starts with a dream, and sticking to the dream, and you can achieve great things. And that's what can be an inspiration to the Black community.
That's a beautiful thing, especially since we need more examples of what that looks like for Black men in our community. So I think that's a beautiful thing. These are just some off-topic questions I thought would be kind of things I thought about. What did you want to be when you were younger?
Man, I wanted to be so many things when I was younger. I used to watch this show on TV in Ghana called Inspector Bediakon. So he was like a detective. And so I wanted to be a police officer. I wanted to be a detective because I thought it was like the coolest thing, the baddest job out there. But my dad is an attorney and a businessman, so he was like my first role model, and I always wanted to do that. I haven't pursued law. I don't think I'll be pursuing law, but I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm walking in my purpose. And so basically, I've become what I wanted to be. But even though I haven't always thought about it that way, but I have become what I wanted to be as a kid because he was my first role model.
Um, Another question is, when you think of the phrase Black joy, how does it feel and what does it represent to you?
Black joy gives me a warm feeling because I envision our people happy and joyful and grateful, and it makes me feel inspired. I was listening to Amapiano, which is like a South African genre of music. You should definitely check it out. Amapiano, and you have Afrobeat, which is from West Africa. And you have Amapiano, and it's like a lot of dance. And Africans or Black people love to dance, and it's because we are by nature very joyful people, and it's embedded in our culture from Africa, from hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, and that's what Black joy reminds me of.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. My last question, but for me is the most important question. What wisdom have you gained from your elders? And do you take that wisdom with you today? And how do you implement that in your life? Because, I'm big on my ancestors and what my elders have told me, like my grandmother or some great aunts have given me some information, and I take the information seriously and try to, apply that to whatever I'm doing in the present moment, if it applies. So I always wonder what wisdom others have gained from their elders. It's interesting to know.
So my grandmom of blessed memory, who we lost in December.
Oh,
She gave me some advice. One of her last words of advice for me was and I'll say it in Cree. Eya mao hoso. And mao hoso means the literal meaning means don't lift yourself up, but the actual meaning of that phrase means don't be arrogant. So be humble yourself. Be humble yourself. And she said she spoke positive things into my life.
Wow.
But she remembered to be humble, and that's the biggest thing I've taken from an elder that I would carry on, and as a constant reminder.
So you take that everywhere you go. That's something that sits in the back of your mind when you deal with others, and as you walk through life, that's something that you think about often.
Yeah. Always remember to stay humble, be kind to people. You just never know who you would need or meet someday. So always try to be kind, be humble, love people,
Thank you so much, Nana, for answering these questions. I know that we talk a lot, so it sounds like you're probably repeating yourself because these are things you've already told me, but you are so important to me. Your business is so important to this world, and I just want to provide a platform for you to share your story, because I think there's even more to talk about, honestly. So I wouldn't mind having you back on again, because
Absolutely.
you have so much knowledge inside of you. It's bananas. It's bananas. You have taught me so many things throughout the years, and I think that people need to hear it and they need to know this. So I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being my first guest. Hopefully being my next guest in a few podcasts. Thank you so much.
I'm happy to come back again. If you have
Thank
me,
you.
I'm happy to come back again. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nana. Do you want to leave any last words about where you are? Share any of your social medias, your websites? I know you're in a couple stores right now as well. And I'd like you to share that information as well, so we know where to purchase these your sauce.
Yeah. So on my social media is Micah Specialty Foods, MICAH Specialty Foods. On Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, our website is micahspecialtyfoods.com. You can, if depending on where you're watching from, well, we are available on our website, micahspecialtyfoods.com. On Amazon, just type Ghana Supreme Sauce. We can ship to you anywhere in the world. Even if you're overseas, you could still support the Ghana Supreme Sauce and the Micah Specialty Foods brand. And also, if you're local, we're in all the Hainan stores. We're in Dave's Supermarket. We're in Meyer. We're in Giant Eagle Market District locations, and many more. We're in over 100 retail locations and counting, and even about to expand into more. So we're very excited, and thank you for having me, Yoli.
Thank you for coming on. I thank you. I don't have the words. I'm just so grateful. So again, thank you, Nana. Many blessings to you. You all support Nana at these various places. Make sure you follow him on social media. If you don't know where to follow him on social media, you can follow me on social media at This Is Black Joy. And you'll find him. I'm always posting him and reposting him over and over again. So thank you so much, Nana. And thank you so much, you all, for tuning into the This Is Black Joy podcast. And I'll see you guys again. Bye.